Everyone talks about the top trim levels in Bronco versus Wrangler. Those are trucks that most of us can't afford. So let's look at the ones that we can, the Bronco Base and the Wrangler Sport. Which one is the miser's choice for the most affordable and best performing off-road vehicle? For off-road crawling, torque is considered more important than horsepower. By the max numbers, the Bronco 2.3-liter EcoBoost is the clear winner. But looking at the torque curve from the 2.3 Ranger tells a different story. Because the EcoBoost is a turbo engine, the torque really doesn't develop until 2,000 RPM, and then it climbs to its max at 3,000. But crawling is best done at low RPM, almost at engine idle, preferably below 2,000 RPM. The 2.3-liter EcoBoost torque curve shows about 125 pound-feet at 2,000 RPM, while the Wrangler's Pentastar delivers a lot more at roughly 208 pound-feet. High torque at low RPM is the best combination for steadily crawling over obstacles on the trail. It's easier to control, and the engine doesn't have to work as hard. This would suggest that the Wrangler's 3.6-liter Pentastar gives it the win. Except, no trail crawling comparison is complete without talking crawl ratio. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, share it. Smash that like button, and if you want to see more, please subscribe and ring that bell so you're the first to be notified when a new video comes out. There's a bit of math coming, but please stick with us, and I promise you, you will be amazed. Crawl ratio is a calculation of the lowest ratio forward gear in the transmission, usually first gear, or in the case of the Bronco manual, the crawl gear, times the low range gear in the transfer case, times the gear ratio in the differential. In the top trim, the Bronco Badlands Edition achieves a staggering crawl ratio of 94.75 to 1 with a manual transmission. And the Wrangler Rubicon hits a respectably close but lower 84.2 to 1. In the Sport versus Base debate, it's a completely different story, where the Wrangler Sport provides a decent crawl ratio of 48.18 to 1, but Bronco Base clobbers Sport with a crawl ratio of 79.92 to 1. The Bronco Base model is very close to the crawl ratio of the iconic Wrangler Rubicon. Now, to help this make sense, let's look at what this means at the wheels, which is really the only place it counts. This is a gross oversimplification that doesn't take into account the wheel size and many other factors, but it does help to understand the impact that crawl ratio has. The crawl ratio describes how the engine RPM is reduced as it moves to the wheels, where a slow wheel turn means better control. The Wrangler's crawl ratio will reduce 1,000 engine RPM to turning the wheels just 21 times per minute, which is a good number for an off-road vehicle. The Bronco's crawl ratio will reduce 1,000 engine RPM to turning the wheels just 12.5 times per minute. That is a very, very controllable speed for crawling along a difficult trail. We think Ford actually had to build it this way. The challenge is the EcoBoost torque below 2,000 RPM, which according to the graph looks to be about 75 pound-feet. As the engine RPM is reduced to the wheels, every gear ratio boosts the torque output to the wheel. Wrangler Sport puts out roughly 116 pound-feet at 1,000 RPM. This results in almost 1,400 pound-feet of torque at each wheel. Bronco Base, at a much lower estimated 75 pound-feet, at 1,000 RPM will still deliver almost 1,500 pound-feet of torque per wheel, roughly 100 pound-feet more torque per tire than Wrangler Sport. That's how crazy important crawl ratio is. The caveat in all this math is the driving experience. The EcoBoost's sharp increase in torque from 75 pound-feet at 1,000 RPM to 310 at 3,000 RPM may be hard to control. Only time in the driver's seat will tell. The steep torque curve for the EcoBoost may be one reason that Ford is heavily promoting Bronco's optional trail control driver assist feature to let the computer take over speed management during crawling. Comparing the 2021 Bronco Base with the 2020 Wrangler Sport, what would you choose? If you enjoyed this video, share it. Smash that like button. And if you want to see more, please subscribe and ring that bell so you're the first to be notified when a new video comes out. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you on the trail.